everyone. Together we are going to do some vocabulary related to education. And here I have a text, and you have to complete this text with words from the list. Now let's read the instruction. Put each of the following words or phrases in its correct space in the passage below. You have state, terms, seminar, degree, co-educational, private, primary, tutorial, graduate, nursery school, grant, secondary, lecture, break-up, compulsory, fees, academic. So all these words are very important for the theme of education. So let's read the text. When children are 2 or 3 years old, they sometimes go to A, where they learn simple games and songs. The first real school is called a school. In Britain, children start this school at the age of 5. The year in Britain begins in September and is divided into 3 schools for the summer holiday in July. Education begins at the age of about 11, and most schools at this level are, which means boys and girls study together in the same classes. In Britain, education is from 5 to 16 years of age, but many children choose to remain at school for another 2 or 3 years after 16 to take higher exams. Most children go to schools which are maintained by the government or local education authorities, but some children go to schools which can be very expensive. University courses normally last 3 years, and then students, which means they receive their. At university, teaching is by an individual lesson between a teacher and 1 or 2 students. A class of students discussing a subject with the teacher. When a teacher gives a prepared talk to a number of students. And of course, private study. Most people who receive a university place are given by the government to help pay their and living expenses. So here, this is the text. You have to complete this text with words from the list. Now let's go to the answers. Let's go to the correction. So here, when children are 2 or 3 years old, they sometimes go to where they play simple games and songs. Nursery school. They go to a nursery school where they play simple games and songs. So their first real school is called school. The first real school is called primary school. In Britain, children start this school at the age of 5. The academic year in Britain begins in September and is divided into 3 terms. Schools for the summer holiday in July. Break up. Education begins at the age of about 11. So this is secondary education begins at the age of about 11. Most schools are at this level are co-educational, which means boys and girls study together in the same classes. In Britain, education is compulsory from 5 to 16 years of age, but many children choose to remain at school for another 2 or 3 years after 16 to take higher exams. Most children go to schools which are maintained by the government. Maintained means supported. So here state means of the country, of the government, by the government or local education authorities. But some children go to schools which can be very expensive, to private schools. University courses normally last 3 years, and then students here graduate, which means they receive their degree. At university, teaching is by tutorial, means an individual lesson between a teacher and 1 or 2 students. Yes, next, seminar means a class of students discussing the subject with the teacher, and lecture when a teacher gives a prepared talk to a number of students, and of course private study. Most people who receive a university place are given a grant or scholarship money given by the government to help pay their fees and living expense fees, the money that you pay for your study. Now let's move now to another activity. This one here, you explain the difference between these expressions. To sit an exam and to set an exam. Sit and set. To take an exam and to pass an exam. Compulsory and voluntary. To educate and to bring up. And the last, a pupil and a student. Now, the first expressions. To sit an exam and to set an exam. To take an exam and to pass an exam. So here, to sit an exam and to take an exam both have the same meaning. Mean the act of answering the questions. To sit an exam or to take an exam. Means you start and you answer questions. But set an exam, so here you can say to pass an exam is to get good marks. To pass. To pass means to get good marks. The opposite is to fail an exam. Then you would have to take the exam again. Now to set an exam means to prepare an exam and write the questions. Normally the teacher does. Sets an exam means gives and prepares an exam and give it to students. Now let's move to the other expressions. Compulsory and voluntary. Compulsory means obligatory. Voluntary means optional. If you do it or not, that's okay, no problem. For example, fasting Ramadan is compulsory. Obligatory. Ramadan is compulsory. But fasting 6 days of Shawwal is voluntary. Is voluntary. If you do it, you will get reward. You will get a reward. You will get benefit. But if you don't do it, that's okay. So compulsory means obligatory. Voluntary means that it is optional. From that we can have voluntary work. العمل تطوعي. Voluntary work. To educate and to bring up. So to bring up is more general than to educate. To bring up. So let's have a look at educate. Means to teach someone intellectually and culturally. To teach someone lessons, subjects, what to do, how to do it, etc. But to bring up children, normally we say bring up children, it means to take care of them. To take care of them and educate them by providing food and teaching them to be good people. So bring up is more general than educate. So education is limited to the intellectual and the cultural level. But to bring up, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that, taking care of people. It means providing food, clothes, and everything. The last expressions, a pupil and a student. Pupil refers to younger learners who are in secondary school and below. Pupil, tilmid. A student refers to learners who study at university. Okay, the last activity. Complete the following sentences with prepositions from the list below. Up, to, of, at, by, from, in, into. So these are sentences. Now, number 1. Which school do you go? What is the preposition? You go to. He left school the age 18. At the age of 18. The summer term ends in July. She's not at home, she's at school. She goes to Sussex University. His lecture was divided into 4 parts. School breaks up next Friday. He is now at university. She is in the same class as her brother. Students usually receive a grant from the state. They are given a grant by the state. I guess that's it for this activity. So please, you can do the exercise again and again, and you can make notes and write the new vocabulary. So that's it. Take care. Bye bye.